Alright, what's up everyone? So this is going to be part 2 of our events tutorial. So as you can see from last time I made a few adjustments. I changed the text of our labels right here and expanded this image view, and then now the location label is up here, and also we now have a name label which is like the description of the event. And then to do that I just added another column here and I called it name, and then that's where you can fill in the name of that. Um, Also, I added this refresh button, and what that does is it'll reload the table view when you click on it. So, if, for example, if someone would submit an event, it would and it gets approved or whatever, you could press this and it would show it here automatically, or you could just pull to refresh. It's the same thing. So next, we also changed up here the color of the navigation bar, and to do that, all we did was we called a method, where is it, custom navbar, and we just changed the navigation tint color and the bar tint color, and we set it to a UI color. And then we also changed title text attributes, which is basically anything that appears in the navigation bar, so like the title and this, it'll change with white. And then lastly, what we did was under submit, we just added a button here that says submit, which will eventually, after this video, it'll take all our data and push it to Parse. And then when we go back into here and we click this, it'll show it here nicely. So let's get started. Open up Xcode and let's go to our project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new file, and it's going to be a Cocoa Touch class, and it's going to be UI View Controller, and we'll call it add event view controller, and create that. And before we forget, let's import Parse and import Parse UI. Now let's go to our storyboard, and let's set this as add event view controller. And now we're going to create some outlets. So let's click on this and open up the assistant editor, and we're going to control drag from the location, and we're going to call it location label. Then we're going to control drag from the price. We're going to control it. We're going to call it price label. And then we're also going to control drag from the date label and call it date label. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to control drag from our submit button and create an action, and we're going to call it create event, and create that. So let's go into our edit view controller or event view controller, and in this action we're going to do a few things. The first is we're going to create a variable called name, and that's going to be of type pf object, and we're going to get the class name, and the string is going to be events. Then we're going to call name, and then we're going to do location equals location label dot text name, not call it name price equals price label dot text. And for right now that's good. We'll come back to the date label in a minute because we got to do the picker, which is a little more complicated. But we'll just get this create an object going. So now I want to save this object. So it's going to be name dot save in background. And then it's going to be success. Excuse me. going to be success, and then bool. Then we're going to call it error. Error. And then we're going to void in. That's going to be if success is true. Then it's going to be else that. So basically, if you want here, you can fill out, you could do like a little analog or printout box that'll show success or error. But for right now, we're going to see if we run it, what happens. It should create a new event in our dashboard, so let's see what happens. Alright, so let's go over to our submit tab, and we're just going to do test, 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 just as an example. And then we'll do whatever this is, 500 million, whatever. And we didn't do this yet, so we're not going to fill it out. And then we didn't do this yet either, so we'll click submit. And let's see here. Then if we go to our dashboard, so now in our dashboard under events, you can see that just created this right here. Price, whatever, 500 million, whatever. Location is our test, 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 and it didn't get our date yet or image, but we're going to do that right now. So let's go back into Xcode. Alright, so to get the image to upload to Parse, it's actually pretty easy. The first thing we need to do is create an outlet from our image here. So open the assistant editor and click on the image. And so let's see here. We'll actually just drag this slightly. So control drag from the image view, and we'll call it from the button from the image view. And I don't know why it keeps doing that. Oh, there we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright. So it's control drag from the image view and call it image view. And we'll drag this back. So now let's close the assistant editor and jump back into our added event view controller. And we only need really 3 lines of code. So let's do let image data equal UI image PNG representation, and then it's going to be self dot image view dot image, and then we're going to do let let's call it parse image file equal pf file, and then it's going to be the name, we're going to call it uploaded underscore image dot png, and then the data is going to be our image data. And then lastly, we're just going to do name again, click up top, and we're going to call it image, and this time it's going to be parse image file. And then I forgot, we do need a little bit more. I'm sorry. Lastly, we need to save save our object. So we're going to do this, and then up here it's going to be success, it's going to be bool, and then error is going to be error, and then we're going to void in, and then it's going to be if success is true, you would do something there, but we're not going to do anything for now. Else you would do something there. Actually, for the sake of the tutorial, we'll do it. So print, it would be, just for now, it would be error, and then this one just do success. Let's see what's wrong up here. Alright, I guess we needed forgot the exclamation point there. You need that. Alright, so lastly, what you want to do is make sure you set that image view to some sort of image. I have it set to our placeholder again. So now let's run it. And this time when we go in there, we should just be able to click submit right off the bat, and it should create an object with nothing but our image for now, because we're not going to fill out any other text fields. So let's go to the submit tab and click on submit, and then jump into over here, and first off, you see all it's printed success. Jump back over to our dashboard, click on refresh, and as you can see, it created one more row, and then we'll click on the image to see what it is, and it's our placeholder. So the last thing we need to do is just to get our date picker working. So final thing, let's go back into our add event view controller, and we'll get it going right now. Alright, so lastly, to get the date picker working, the first thing you need to do is create an outlet for your date picker, and I call mine date picker, and I did that mine ahead of time just to save a little time. So we're going to need to create two functions. The first one is going to be called, let's call it date format, and inside of here we're going to create a few variables. So the first one is going to be let date formatter equal date formatter with a capital D, sorry, date formatter, and then let short equal date formatter dot sorry, I don't know why it keeps going to the lowercase d, but date formatter dot style dot short. Then we need date formatter dot date style equals short, and then we need date formatter dot time style equals short, and then thirdly we need date formatter dot date format equals, and this is going to be our string. This is how it'll appear in our text field. So it's going to be month slash day slash year, and then hour, minute, and then AM or PM. And then we're going to call one more variable. So let's call it let string date equal date formatter dot string. And then here we're going to call date picker dot date. And then we're also going to set our date label dot text to the string date. And then our next function is going to be function date picker changed, and then we're going to call our date picker, and that's type UI date picker, and open that, and then we're going to call our date format right here. Then lastly, all we need to do up in our view did load, we need to do date picker dot add target, and the target is going to be self. The action is going to be selector, open bracket, date picker, changed, and then open bracket again, date picker, and then close the brackets, and then for UI control events dot value changed, and then lastly date format again. So now let's run it, and what happened here? Oh, I just had an extra E. Run that. Now we should be good to go. And now we're going to test to see if we can actually upload a full event to our dashboard right here. So let's go to our submit tab and let's fill this out. Let's go, I don't know, Philadelphia as an example. Price, let's just do $120. That's fine for that, but let's actually just make it the 4th. And the image is just going to upload our picker or our placeholder for right now. So let's click submit and then go over here and click refresh. And as you can see, Philadelphia, PA, price 120, and added it again. I'm going to delete these for now because I don't want them. But as you can see, if you go back into over here and you would reload this, it keeps loading more and more into here. So I'm going to just delete these for now. Alright, so the last thing we want to do is we want to create the image picker controller. So when we click this button right here, it'll display this, and we can select our photo, and then it'll set it to our image view here. So let's get into it. Let's go back in here, and let's first click on our storyboard, and we're going to create a few outlets. So make sure you click on the button, and we're going to control drag, and we're going to create an outlet up here. We'll call it image button, and then we're also going to control drag from the image or that button, and we're going to create an action. Let's call it load image and connect that. Now let's jump into our add event view controller and first implement these up in the header. So you want UI navigation controller delegate and UI image picker controller delegate, and then we're going to create a variable here. So let's call it image picker equals UI image picker controller, and then in our view to load, we're going to go picker image picker dot delegate is equal to self, and then we're going to go down here into our action. So under load image, we're first going to call button or image button dot is hidden is equal to true, and the reason we want that is when we click on this button right here, we want it to disappear, and then we want it to reload when the view appears again in case they want to change the image that's in the image view. So we're going to set is hidden to true right here, and then we're going to go image picker dot allows editing is equal to false. Then we're going to go image picker dot source type is equal to dot photo library, and then we're going to present our image picker animated is true, and then completion is no. We need two more methods. The first one is did finish picking media with info, so let's click on that. And we're going to create an if statement, so if let picked image is equal to info, and then inside here we're going to call UIImagePickerController original image as UIImage, and then we're going to say image view dot content mode is equal to dot aspect or dot scales aspect fit, and then image view dot image is equal to picked image, and then outside of this bracket we're just going to call it dismiss, and then animation is true and completion is no. And then lastly we need one more method, and that's just dated, excuse my dog. We're going to image picker controller did cancel, and we're just going to call it dismiss, animated is true, and completion is no. And the reason we want to call that is when we click this, if they press cancel, we just want it to close the image picker. So then I guess last what we need to do is we're going to call view did appear, and then super dot view did appear, and then true, and then we're going to call image button dot is hidden is equal to false. And then the reason, like I said, we want to call this here is every time the view appears again, we want that image button to come back so they can select the image again if they want to change the image. So we're going to run the app, and we're going to try to create a full event this time in our dashboard right here, and I'm going to actually delete these two. So let's go over to here, and it's still building. Alright, so click on the submit tab. As you can see, I also added a fourth text field here, and that's for the name. It's the same as all three of these, so I didn't really feel the need to show you, but basically what you do is you just add another text field, add the connections, and then you also just want to do this right here. So name, call the name from the events class, and then name label.text. Pretty simple. So yeah, back into here, let's call let's say Miami Beach Blast or whatever, and the location will be Miami, Florida. Price, let's say $145, and the time or the date will be let's say June 15th. Click add an image. That looks like Miami, and we'll click submit. And as you can see up here, it'll show that it's spinning and uploading that to Parse, and then it'll print out success here in a moment when it is done. So let's jump into our dashboard here, and we'll refresh it, and we'll wait for there it is, success. And we'll refresh it, and right there you go. Added our image. The price $145, location Miami, the date right here, and then in here if we go back into our home and we reload it, as you can see, added right here. And the reason that it's on the way in the bottom is I just have it sorting by descending by date. So you can change that however you want. All you do to do that is in your query right here, you would just change this. Before I had it to ascending by location, I'll have it ascending by date, but you can do whatever you like. Alright, so finally the last thing we need to do is we need to go into our info.plist file, and we need to create or we need to add Scroll down to privacy. We need to add photo library usage description. And basically, let's just say this is required for selecting images in your app. And the reason that does, all that is the very first time you would launch your app, it would ask the user if they want to accept that. So then they would say yes if they want to accept it, and it would push them into that image picker. If not, it would just simply decline it, and they wouldn't be able to select the image. So I don't think it's going to show you here. So if we go to submit and we click on this right here, as you can see, events tutorial like taxes photos, and I said this is required for selecting images in your app. So we can select OK, and then it'll show that. Yeah, and also we don't need these quotes here, I just have them. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And if you didn't see part 1, obviously you shouldn't be at this point in the video, but if you didn't, the link will be in the description. As always, have a good day. Peace.